So I am so excited, Morgan. Thank you so much for being on this Zoom tonight. This girl is a rock star, like an enrolling rock star. And I want her to start by telling her story. Excuse my face. My face looks like it hurts right now. I went tanning. I don't never tan. I'm so burnt right now. My face hurts. So I want you to tell your story, but I really want you to elaborate on your timeline to rank. I love your timeline because it doesn't happen overnight, guys. And we say give it a year, but it takes more a year to like really truly see like residual income and what this can do for you. So I want Morgan to just kind of elaborate on her timeline of ranking in this business and being the top income earner that you are. So just kind of just tell your story, how you got started, how you found it works, and ranking throughout the business.
Yes. Okay. So, I am Morgan McIntyre, like she said, and I'm a triple diamond, soon to be presidential. And, I joined this business back in October 2014. So that was kind of a long time ago. It's been almost 4 years, which is crazy. I joined this business just for $100 a month for gas money because I was seriously so broke. I was like a typical broke college student. I was working 65 hours a week and still not making ends meet. I struggled to put gas in my car to get to school. I was putting groceries on credit cards, which we just paid off. And so it sucked. And I never had time to do anything with my friends. And even if I did, I didn't have the money to do it. And I found the wraps on Instagram. I saw somebody posted about them and I didn't really know the girl, but I just kept seeing before and after pictures. And so it's super important to post before and after pictures, even though they may not be pretty. It is super important to do that. So I kept seeing these before and after pictures, and it took me a while, but I finally reached out to her and just asked, what is this? And before that, I was diagnosed with a heart condition, and I was not able to work out. The doctor said that I could never do that again because it would put too much of a strain on my heart. So I had gained some weight, and I was really self-conscious about the way that I looked. I just moved into a new state where I still live now. But I just had literally every reason not to join the business. But I saw the wraps and I was like, dude, this stuff is like crazy. And so I asked her about them. I didn't think that they would work, but I wanted to try them anyways, just because even if they didn't work, like at least I would know. Because if they did work, then I would love those type of results I was seeing on her pictures. And so she told me a little bit about the wraps. I ordered them even though I didn't have the money to. And so I used the wraps, and on the third wrap I saw amazing results because I didn't use the first one correctly, and then I just didn't see results with the first real wrap that I used, so it took me two. And I stood in the mirror and just cried because I was for the first time confident in the way that I looked. And so then I became I was a loyal customer, so I ordered for 2 more months. And then I looked at her Instagram one day and she said that she was an emerald with It Works. And so me being the red personality that I am, very like money driven and disciplined, whatever, goal oriented, I was like, all right, so how much does an emerald make? So I like Googled to see how much an emerald made, and she was making as much money with this business at the time as I was working 40 hours a week as a nanny to 3 kids. And I was like, dude, what the heck? Like, even if I don't make that much, like I can at least make like $100. I had no like ambitions for myself. I did not think I was going to be good at this at all. Like I said, I had just moved to a new state. I didn't know anybody here. I was so busy. Like there was no way that I would have time to do this, but I was like, well, why not? And so, I spent $100, joined this business, made my money back with my wraps. That was like my backup plan. I was like, you know what, worst case scenario, I will just like pay myself back and I'll be okay. And so then right out of the gate, which I'll talk about this a little bit later, but right out of the gate, I was just excited and I just started talking to everybody that I knew. I didn't know what the heck I was doing, but I was just doing something. And so I went executive in 2 months. So I joined in October and went executive New Year's Eve. And then 2 months later, I went Ruby, and I was so excited. Like, that was huge for me. And then I sat at Ruby for a year. And a lot of people don't know, like a lot of people just like joined the business recently. And so like, oh, Morgan's a triple, so like her life must be so easy. But like, it wasn't always like that. You know, you just see people at higher ranks, but you don't see what it took them to get there. And I did sit at Ruby for a whole year. During that year, I almost quit. And that summer there was like a thing that they did for a cruise to Mexico. And I was like, I've never been on a cruise, never been to Mexico. Sure don't have the money to take myself there. And I'm sick of working. So I'm about to earn this cruise. And so I did. And my first thought was, am I going to be able to go? Because I'll have to ask off of work. And I was like, I hate that feeling. Like, I'm so sick of feeling like that because I never get free time. Like, so anyway, so I was about to quit. And then I found out I was going on the cruise. And I was like, well, I can't go on this free cruise if I'm not in the business anymore, and I'm definitely going on this cruise. So I guess I'm not going to quit. And so I was like, I could just quit after the cruise. And so I went on the cruise, and y'all, my whole entire mindset shifted. And I don't know what it was, but it wasn't even like a training. Like, it wasn't a conference or anything where we were like, people were just kind of standing up and like talking to us or whatever. It was literally just because I was surrounded by people that were in this business who were at higher ranks than me. And I looked at them and just saw that they were literally just real people and that they were just so normal. Like, every single person was just so like, just like me, you know, all the ambassadors looked like me, except that they had a Louis Vuitton, you know, but otherwise they were like the same. Right. So I was like, I can do this. They can do this. I can do this. So I left with a passion and I was excited. And I hadn't been passionate or excited in a long time. I was just kind of doing like, you know, going through the motions. And so I came back home, and 2 months later, they brought out the emerald bonus and the diamond bonus. And so I was like, I'm going to do that. So I promoted to diamond that month while I was working 9 a.m. to midnight that whole month. And so I got to quit all my jobs, and I have not worked any jobs since then. That was March 2016. And then I sat at Diamond for a year because I guess like to sit at ranks for a year. So I sat at Diamond for a year, and I learned so much over that whole like course of that year about leadership, about how to build my team strong. Those are things I didn't really know how to do. There are things I hadn't done before. So it took me a while to totally kind of, I don't like to say this, but like rebuild my chart. I had all new people for my double diamond chart. I think that's important for y'all to hear because some of you are like, oh my gosh, like even some of my leaders are quitting. Like, I'm a diamond and some of my people left. I'm never going to get to double diamond because these people that I'm like counting on are leaving. But that's just God, like taking out the people who don't need to be here and just rising up new leaders for you. And it ends up being the best thing ever. So that was a whole year. So a year later in February, I went to conference for the first time last year, which was crazy. But I was a diamond. I went to conference, and I don't know what happened at conference. It's something about events, guys. Like, you need to get to events. But I got to conference, and I don't know why, but like Mark was like, you can do this. And I was just sitting in my seat, and I was like, okay. Like, I just believed every word that he said. Like, he said, you can do this. And I was like, I can do this. You know, for the first time, I truly believed that I could be something more than a diamond, because for a while I was like, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. And I kept saying that. So I kept being stuck. You speak into existence what you want. And if I keep saying that I'm stuck, guess what I'm going to get? I'm going to be stuck. And so I was like, no, I'm a double diamond. And so I was so far from double, guys. Y'all have no idea. My chart looked a wreck. I had no volume where it needed to be. I was maintaining diamond, but just like by a hair. So I needed to like more than double my volume, like my group volume. So it was just going to take an act of, you know, God for me to get to double. And so I worked my tail off, and I did promote to double. And I earned another bonus with that. He's my boyfriend then, he's my fiance now, earned a bonus. He went diamond. And then I said, I'm not going to do what I did with my other promotions, which is promote and then get comfortable and sit there for a year. So I was like, dude, we're running. And so I talked to all the girls who went Ruby, and I didn't take, so for a double, and I'm sorry if this is taking too long, but for a double, it's a diamond and an emerald, right? So for my triple, okay, so for a double, it's a diamond and an emerald. For a triple, it's a double and 2 diamonds. So it's kind of a big jump, but the diamond that I had for double was my fiance, so I used him for the double for my triple. And then everybody else, though, all the diamonds all 3 of them were rubies. And I did not want the person who is the emerald to become the diamond, even though that would have been faster. It actually would have been slower because guess who would have been doing all the work? Right here, me. And guess who would have done all the enrolling? Right here. So I grabbed all those rubies and I said, are you ready to go diamond? And they're like, dude, yes. And they're so on fire because they just promoted a ruby and they're excited. So they're like, yes, let's do it. So I was like, okay. And so my goal for the next month was to get blocked in for triple. I needed like 70 distributors. Me and my team did it. Got ourselves blocked in by like, I think it was like May 3rd. So we didn't quite hit our goal, but obviously we didn't care. And so we just kept on running. And that whole month we had the time to work on volume and we hit triple. And they hit double and diamond and it was a strong promotion. And so so that's where I am, and I've been sitting there for a year again, but it's okay. It's okay. Because this time I know that, like, my team is working so hard. All my leaders from Triple are still here, thankfully. They're running so hard. We're so close to Prez. I've been blocked in for a while. Not that y'all probably really care. I'm just telling you, like, it's not because we're not working or anything like that. Like, we're close to presidential and we're just working and completing our steps of success over and over and over again. And I know that eventually I'm going to hit presidential because you hit every single rank by completing the steps of success and teaching your team to do the same thing. It's seriously that simple. And we just way overcomplicate it. So anyways, that's my really long version of my story.
That was not long. And I just have now a bunch of questions I want to ask you. Okay, so thanks. I have to ask these. So, I posted a picture of this girl named Morgan that had greens shoes holding over the trash before you even knew who I was.
I knew who you were before you knew who I was, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, that's cool. But I actually think I beat you. Like, I was posting pictures, like when I joined, I was posting pictures of you holding green shoes over the trash. So can you just elaborate? How do you feel is it that you might have fallen more in love with this business after you found products? Like, you have a testimony of, like, you were sick, you started using the products, they helped you. Yeah, we don't have any medical diagnosis of our products or anything like that, but we are the examples of medical problems where we use our products and they help. It's like when somebody is using the greens, they're just the greens, and they come back and say, hey, I went to my doctor and my cholesterol is lower and all these things, and the only thing I've incorporated is my greens. Like, clearly they work. Yeah, we can't make those claims, but did you kind of find the love of this company by using the products? Like, to this day, I will preach it nonstop. Using the products is the only way that you will truly fall in love. I say that all the time. If you don't love a product, you can't fall in love with it. If you don't love a restaurant, you're not going to tell anybody about it. So do you think that, like, using the products and truly using them to the extent of let them change your life? Like, how did the products go into your life like that?
Yeah, so I never started taking the products to, like, fix anything because I was still on medication for the heart condition. And because I moved up here, my prescription ran out. And so I literally did not have a way to take my medicine, and I did not have the money to get a plane ticket to go back home to see my specialist so that he could prescribe me more medicine, and he would not refer me to anyone up here. So it was literally like a total God thing that I found it works whenever I did, because there was no way for me to get another prescription for the medication that I was taking daily for almost a year. And so I had found the greens, and honestly, I would just got the greens because I thought they'd be easy to post with. Because I was like, I can just, like, get a cup and post with the greens. So I tried them, and I was like, oh my gosh, these make me feel so good. And so whenever I ran out of my prescription medication, I never noticed. And obviously, I'm not saying that it cured me, but I'm just saying it's a really big coincidence that I haven't had any symptoms since I started taking my greens. But anyways, and so, yeah, I mean, that definitely helped me be super excited and passionate to talk to people about these products. But it's not even just that. It's like the weight loss. It's my hair growth. Dude, like, this is crazy. My hair was this short, like, last year. Like, it's crazy, and it's just so much healthier. All my hairstylists that I've been to have all gotten hair, skin, and nails if they were with me before I started taking it, because they're like, dude, what are you using? So, like, you're literally a walking testimony. People will just ask you, dude, what have you been doing to lose weight? I have so many girls on my team that have started losing weight, and their coworkers notice. They don't even have to bring it up. They bring it up for them. And so, I mean, I know that, like, results bring results. So if you want results with this business, you have to have results with the products. People aren't going to take you seriously if you're sitting there like, oh my gosh, the greens are amazing. You should totally use the greens. And they're like, well, what's your favorite flavor? You're like, oh, well, I've been in the business for 6 months and I have no idea, but I don't use the products, but you totally should. Like, people are not going to take you seriously. Like, if you're not using what you're talking to people about on social media or in person, they're not going to take you seriously. And that's not to say you have to try every single product overnight. But if you joined 6 months ago, you should have at least taken some of the products. And you can say, you know what, I haven't tried that yet, but my friend has. Let me ask her what her favorite is, and that's going to be my next thing in my shipment. But right now I'm using this product, and I'm obsessed with it, so I already know the greens are going to be amazing because the hair, skin, and nails, I'm in love with them. So, like, because you don't have to use every single, or you don't have to try every single dish in a restaurant for you to recommend it. You try 1 or 2 and you're like, dude, that restaurant's incredible, right? You don't have to try the whole menu first, but you know that if 2 of them are great, they're probably all great. So that's the same with the products.
I love that. And that's just something that I like, kind of like I've attached myself to your name to that. There was a point, I love transparency. My team knows it. I'll be transparent 100%. So, so when I started to learn about you more and I started to see coming up into the business, you know, I was like, wait, is this the same Morgan that I post about with the trash can and the prescription drugs and her holding the greens? Like, is that the same girl? Because there was a point in my business about 6 months in, maybe a year, between 6 and a year, where I was working the business, but I saw these women that were so in love with the business in a different love. They were in love in a different way, but they had products that have truly changed their life. And I had just been using products that are just very like easy, you know, the wrap is easy and defining gel is easy. Things that are just easy where like you can incorporate into your life. You're not going to see a huge change, but they're going to almost like, you know, up your skin or up your whatever, up. But when you find a product that, like when you're talking about your hair, like I remember when I truly was like, okay, if birth control does not work, if you don't take it every day, it does not work. All right, I'm going to treat hair, skin, nails like that. Well, my hair grew like crazy. So did my armpits. So did my ankles. Like, it's like, I used it every single day. And I was like, now I get it. I look at all of our products as treatment products. When you go into a treatment, there are rules, there are timelines, all those. Do a 90-day challenge. If we are constantly posting about 90-day challenges, do a 90-day challenge with the products. And how do you feel? How does it change you? Like, what does it add to your life? All those things, take mental notes on them, because the little thing is like, oh, it makes me feel better. When she says, you know, I started taking the green shoes and like the green stuff like that, and it made me feel better. What a huge coincidence. No, it really is what happened. But she needed to commit to the product. Do you not take the product every single day? Every day, guys. It's the same as birth control. I like to use birth control every single time as an example. So, and here's the thing too, you know, when we talk about like, when we're distributors, if we start spending money on things that we want to change about ourselves, when we're spending money on ourselves, we're using the products, we're spending money on the products to help ourselves, we get to like put that out to our following. I truly believe that us telling our following that we're spending money on ourselves, on the same exact product to build us up, teaches other people to spend money on themselves, because too many times people do not spend money on themselves, and those are the people that are not taking care of themselves. Like, it takes money to take care of ourselves. Something that's really interesting about you, you know, you talk about speaking into existence and kind of like, you know, you're so young. That's where I'm getting at. You're young, and I love that you're young, but if you can't, I understand, but where did you find like that depth? And because I feel like all of us go through it. Sorry, I'm trying to unmute you because I just need that right again. Where did you find that depth? Like, was there like a defining moment where you really found like, where you start to pay attention to epiphanies? I feel like that's where they come to in this business. Like, where did you find your depth, Morgan? Like, there's so much wisdom within you. Like, when you start saying like, you know, speaking to existence and stuff like that, but where did you find that?
Personal development, but I guess like the biggest thing is like I've always had a why, and anytime I didn't have a why, I was sitting still. And so finding my why has seriously made me like, that's just given me such a driving force behind like what I do, why I do what I do. And so because of that, I'm literally a sponge. Tell me something to do and I'll go do it. Like, I want to know everything that you know. Like, I just literally want to sit and listen to everybody talk. Tell me what you know. Like, I want to go do that. And so just being around successful people, especially with It Works, and like getting to these events and hearing these people talk, I'm like, I want that. Like, I want to do that. And so a lot of them started talking about personal development. And I was like, I don't need personal development, you know? And really, it was because I never did personal development before until I like needed it. Right? Like on the days where I was like, I'm good. Like I'm having a good day. Like my mind's in the right place. I'm good. I don't need personal development. That though it was only the days where it was hard. And so then I never got to the point where I grew as a person, because anytime my cup got empty, I would just fill it back up. And anytime it got empty, I would fill it back up. Instead of having a full cup and continuing to like learn and grow and just overflow my cup so that I had to grow as a person to hold all of that. And so that's kind of, I guess, the biggest thing that I've like learned all this stuff from, and I've just changed my mindset. Like I was never taught this stuff. Like my parents never taught me anything like this. They never were business people. They never did personal development. We never did dream boards whenever I was a kid, like none of that stuff. And I know that not everybody did, but some people did, and I never had that. But so I think that a lot of that's just been since I joined the business and just found my why, and I wanted to run after it as hard as I could. And they said that personal development was a part of that. And so I was like, okay, I'm in, I'll do it. Like you're successful and you're telling me to do this, I'll go do it. So I don't know if that answers your question, but
no, it does. It does. I feel like it's not even an answer, like it's not a question that can be answered when we find, like you said it almost like perfectly, like I don't even know when I remember when we're like, oh, I read books and I watch trainings. I'm like, who has time for that? Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm like new in this business. I just want to build. Like, what are you talking about? When you find like the respect for that hour to build into yourself, after that hour, you're like, oh my God, I get it. I understand why everybody does it. It's like crazy. I just didn't know if you had like something that nobody's ever said, but that makes sense. Like we just have, when we realize that like, there's more and we have to learn from other people, it's a beautiful thing. So, okay. So tell us what your day looks like. You know, you don't have a job, you work this business full time. What does your day look like?
Okay. So I've been working with my team a lot on this month because I think a lot of them are super busy. So I want you to know that like, yeah, I do this full time, but this is for someone that doesn't have a job or someone that has 8 jobs, you know, like anybody can do this, but this is what I do. And this is what I've been teaching my team to do. And I've been doing this for a long time. And this is probably why I'm a consistent enroller, because I'm always, I just realized you muted me. Okay, I'm good. So not that you have to be super organized to do the business at all, but you should definitely plan, because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And I told them today, you know, I don't know what your natural personality is, whether it's just to just wake up and hope that all your crap gets done or not. If you're a planner and a list maker, either way, I challenge you to try this, because you sometimes, like, the way that God made us is perfect because he chose to make us this way, but you can always become a better version of yourself. And so if that requires you planning when that's not your natural tendency, try doing it, because this is going to help you. Okay. So what I do, and this is like ultra organized, so don't feel like you have to go this far with it, but I do this. It's like color coded and everything. I write everything down the night before. So like I already have my day. This is Friday. It's already planned out exactly what I'm going to do. Because here's the thing. If you wake up and you don't know where your time is going, the time is going to tell you where to go instead of you telling it where to go. And so then you're going to have crap come up and you're going to be like, oh, like I have to do this, I have to do that. And like you go to bed at night and you're like, I did nothing for my business. How many of y'all have felt like that? Probably every single one of us at one point, right? So what I do is I write down everything that I need to do, and I'll tell you a couple things that I do every day. So sorry, some of this is like personal stuff. Like like just in my life. Like I have to work on wedding invitations and stuff like that. But post, message, Insta story. So I'm posting to my Insta story, message polls. I have to remind myself to remember to message people on the polls that I did. Take care of my loyal customers. It's like how I do my retention. However you take care of your customers, I'm reminding myself to do that. Add to Captivate queue to follow people, do my follow-ups, personal development, and then unfollow. So that's on my list of stuff to do tomorrow. And then I have the list of people that said that they were going to order from me, and I have them highlighted in different color. So tonight before I go to bed, what I'm going to do with all my tasks for tomorrow is I'm going to number them. And this is like ultra organized. You want to take it to like a whole nother level, because this has seriously, and my team started doing this, y'all, and they are like, my day has totally changed. I'm like, yeah, I know. I've been telling you to do this for forever. And they're like, but I listened and it actually worked. I'm like, that's so weird. So anyways, go in and number everything in the order that you want to do it in. And so like, whether it's just something that you can get done really quick so you feel like you've marked a ton of stuff off on your day, or the most important things, whatever it is. And then like I have going to the gym on there. I have an appointment tomorrow. So I'm going to number that appointment. Let's say I number it number 6. That's the 6th thing I'm going to do. That means I have 5 things that I have to get done before 9 o'clock tomorrow morning whenever I go to my lash appointment. So I have like 5 things that I've got to do. And so I number those, and I try to like, it's like a game. I'm like trying to hurry up and do this before 9 o'clock, you know? So that's what I do. Those are my tasks that I do, and that's how I get it done. And I've been doing earlier power hours. We started this with my team this week, where we do the same power hours like every day in the same time. And so we started doing 8 a.m., which, don't laugh, but that's like really early for me. So I was like struggling to get out of bed at like 7:30 in the morning, so I could, you know, get ready for the power hour. But it has changed my business. So I know that some of you have jobs, but get up an hour before your job, and I swear you will not regret it. Try it tomorrow. It will change your day. My days in the past week, I've signed more people than I've ever signed this month, like in the other like 2 weeks. I have gotten more done, like in my personal life. Like I've got a wedding to plan. I have a dog to take care of. We have like all these trips coming up. I've done all of those things. I mean, it's just, but I've been so much more relaxed. I'm so much less stressed than I have been in forever. So anyways, just wanted to throw that out there, because it really does help if you just set an hour to the side every day. You can get most of this stuff done, and then just work a little bit here and there, in between whatever you're doing.
No, I love that. I feel like it is like, I'm like the worst at waking up early. It's like, don't wake up without an alarm. I'm like, okay. Here it comes 11 a.m.
But it's usually for like 9:30. Not like 7:30.
No, but it's so true though. Like I feel like getting up like early bird gets the worm is like a true statement. And power hours early in the morning, I have only done a few, like before, like over a year ago today. Over a year ago today, I started implementing like power hours with a few people, and I felt like we were so much more, we just got so much more done. So I like that though. So thank you for reminding me. So I want to do like a role play. Okay. So say I'm a new distributor. No, I'm not a new distributor. I'm a potential. How do you find your potentials first? Short and sweet.
So I don't really message for potential distributors. Not that you shouldn't, because everybody works differently. But what works best for me, because I don't really get a lot of responses with messages, is I do polls on Instagram. I do a lot of attraction marketing, so they come to me. This is for distributors. For customers, I do message. But sometimes in my customer messages, so I'll like send the original message asking them if they want to be a product model. They'll say yes or no or whatever. And then I'll say, okay, here's a list of the products. And then at the end I say, or I have one work from phone spot if you want to use the products and make money at the same time. And a lot of them will say yes to that. So that's how I get potentials, polls, a lot of like people messaging me, like they'll comment an emoji below on a post where I tell them to do that. They'll message a word like opportunity to my phone because I told them to do that. There's just a lot of different ways that I do it, but it's not really sitting down and messaging people. Unless I find somebody that I like really, really want to be on my team. I think they'd be good. I'll go out of my comfort zone and like just message them, but I don't really get a lot of responses from that.
All right. So know that it's like a unicorn thing, right? Like a lot of people don't understand attraction marketing and people coming to them. Do you work Facebook or Instagram more?
Instagram.
Okay. So utilizing the polls, and you're a story queen, and you're putting your life on there. You're doing a lot of, I mean, I've looked at your posts before I asked you to do Zoom. Like, I've saved a bunch of your posts because they're so great. So you understand attraction marketing. That does not come the first year. Like, attraction marketing is something that you really truly have to build. It's something that you have to start. I mean, it took me so long to ever understand attraction marketing, but you have to, do you agree or want to add to the fact that you need to know who you're attracting? Because do you feel as if that you attract a lot of people that are like you? Somebody that is maybe doesn't have kids, that's maybe engaged, or is your age? Like, what do you think that you're attracting?
Yeah, you definitely attract what you put out. And so if you're a mom, you're probably going to sign a lot of moms. I do sign moms, but they're mostly college age students or college kids, or recent graduates, because I'm 24. And so, I mean, that's kind of who either comes to me or who I like am naturally drawn to be like, oh my gosh, like I want to reach out to her and message her. It's people that are around my age who like similar things.
And with attraction marketing, and I love the word attraction marketing, I love the act of attraction marketing when you understand it, and I truly believe it takes a while to understand it. So, but something I just, because you said it, I just have to like reiterate this. With attraction marketing, you know, a lot of people say, okay, if I master the skill of posting, that people are going to be attracted to me. But it's interaction. Do you feel as if a lot of times your day is with interaction so that they see it? Because we are working against algorithms, whether we like it or not, on Instagram and Facebook. So do you interact a lot throughout the day? Because just answer that, actually.
Yeah. I usually try to set aside like different times of the day to just go through and like a bunch of people's pictures and give like actual well thought out, genuine comments on people's stuff. And that kind of makes them feel like they know me. Instagram polls, even though I'm not literally physically reaching out to them, they feel like I am, so that whenever they text me, they feel like they already know me because I've been commenting on their stuff and because they've seen my life on a video on my Insta story.
Okay. So you launched a new distributor, and what are your steps? Do you have a system in place, or do you have a boot camp page or anything like that?
So I keep it pretty simple because I think the biggest thing for new people is that they just tend to like join the business and get super overwhelmed. So I take every single one of them through the exact same thing. And I have like a little note saved on my phone. So I just copy and paste certain sections, and I'll send voice messages, all that stuff. But I have them log into their eSuite, set up their auto shipment. I had them make a list of people that they know that would come and bring them chicken noodle soup if they were sick, or come help them, you know, fix a flat tire if they were ever on the side of the road. And so I have them make a list of those people, and then I have them contact them, and I tell them exactly what to say, and I have them send me screenshots whenever they get a response, because I do not want them messaging on their own the first day, because it's never a good thing, almost always. And so I want to help show them how I message people, because I know that I can seal the deal. Another thing that I've done before too is have them just stick me in a group message, especially if I have a lot of, or like a bunch of people sign at the same time, and I'm just getting screenshots after screenshots and I just can't keep up. I just say, hey, stick me in a group message with these people. I'll talk to them for you, and we'll have them sign up on your website. They're like, okay, cool. They're watching me do this, and they're getting all the scripts and like type of things that I say. And then so once we do that, I get them plugged in. That's super important, because if they feel like they're on their own, then they're probably not going to stick it out for very long, because a lot of people join for the money, but they stay for the friendships. And so I try to get them connected to the team. I get them on our Facebook page. I get them on a Zoom as quickly as possible. The very next Zoom that we have, I'm like, jump on this, you're going to want to. And then after that, they're so fired up. I ask them how they like the Zoom. So everything I'm telling them to do, I'm holding them accountable to it. I'm like, get on the Zoom tonight, and or, you know, make sure that you can if you're able to. And they're like, okay, I'll be on there. So then I ask them how it went. And then I also connect them with the leader that I placed them under. Shortly after we finish their training so that they have another person that they can reach out to if I'm ever not available, or they just have another friend in the business. And it's a lot harder for people to leave when they have to tell multiple people that they have to leave versus just me. So they're more likely to just kind of stick it out longer, or to, you know, give it a fair shot versus just quitting immediately, because then they're like, oh crap. Like, I tell this girl, I don't even know. And I've told Morgan, like, I don't want to do that. So I just feel like it helps a lot, and it creates that layered leadership too.
You are beyond your years, girl. So beyond your years.
A lot of this is not me, though. It's just stuff that I've learned from other people.
No, it's weird. It's weird to hear, knowing how young you are. Like, you are so beyond your years. It's crazy. So you talk about the auto ship. Is there a specific way that you explain it? Like, you know, like, I am that median leader where I have diamonds that truly, like, donated plasma to join and could not afford the auto ship. And so I'm not like an auto ship stickler. But I am completely open to other leaders explaining their reasoning behind the auto ship. I am basically not an auto ship stickler until like 3 months in. 3 months in, you know, I know that I could not afford the auto ship when I joined, but it ran no matter what, whether I had to sell wraps or do whatever I had to do, because I like convinced myself, which I didn't, it's not convincing, but I convinced myself at the point where I was so ignorant to this business that this is a business. I own a store, basically. And if I actually owned a store, it would cost $10,000 a month to run it. And my overhead is $100 a month, $20 website fee, $8 auto ship. I'm going to figure out a way to pay it. But I have brought in those people that could not afford it at all. So how do you talk about the auto ship and the 80 BV auto ship and the 150 PV? How do you even do that in the first month?
Let me just find my message that I sent to them, because like I said, I had this all like the new distributor training saved. So give me 1 second. Okay. So I'm kind of the same way. I'm probably a little bit more of like, I don't know, I'm more hard on them, I think, because I did not have the money to run my auto shipment. And so I feel like that's not a good excuse, because I never didn't run it. But I'm also like, I don't know, I'm working on like being more sympathetic and things like that. So, but here's what I say. And so basically I'm like, okay, you have to run your 80 BV auto shipment, or you can do 150, but you don't want to do that. So those are your two options. But this is the text that I sent. I just say, so now I want you to be sure you have your 80 BV auto shipment set up. In order to get commissions and bonuses, you run an $80 or more in an auto shipment every month. And this allows you to be a product of the product, or have products on hand to sell / sample. But we never want that to come out of your pocket. So you'll pick a product for yourself and then a box of wraps. When you sell each of those 4 wraps for $25 each, then you make all of your money back. And then I tell them how to set it up. And then I said, be sure this runs in 30 days of your sign-up date so that your commission's qualified. If this isn't something that you can do, you can rely on your 150 volume instead of the auto shipment. But I've known people who did, and then someone returned a product and they lost their whole check the month that they promoted. Because that's true. I really do know somebody who promoted Emerald and like didn't get a check. Not on my team, and I said, but that's definitely an option. That's why we have it. So you'll just want to work a little bit harder to make sure that your customer sales volume is 150 50 or more. Totally up to you. Let me know when you're finished. And so if they're like, I literally cannot do it. And like some of them, like I know their situation. I know what it took for them to start. And if they're like, I literally just donated plasma, I'm ready to get started. I'm going to be like, all right, like you can't afford an auto shipment. Okay. Like I get that, but here's what we're going to do. Like, let's go ahead and set it up, and we can always edit it later if we need to. So I always at least have them set it up, and I say, here's what we're going to do. You get wraps in your starter kit. Let's sell those wraps and put that money back towards your auto shipment. And then I'm like, so I give them options of like ways that they can either make money from their auto shipment or do it completely for free. So they can sell the wraps in their kit, make their money back. They can gather 4 customers, use the shopping spree, get 2 boxes of wraps, sell those, make $200, use some of it for their auto shipment and keep the rest in their pocket. They can run an auto shipment and get the wraps at a product. It pays for itself. Results get results again. So I'm like, I really want them like using these products, because they're not going to get as many customers if they don't have the products for themselves. And I just let them know, like, I've never not run an auto shipment, even as a triple diamond. Like I still run an auto shipment every month because I love the products. But then like, I mean, it depends on the person. And you can kind of gauge if they're just like, oh, I just don't have the money. Or if they like legit don't have the money, then I don't force it. But I know people who don't have the money who make it happen, and they're like they're hustling to sell a wrap so they can afford their auto shipment, which then turns around and gets them 4 new loyal customers because they're people just tried the wraps and they only got a sample. So they want their full treatment. And so they're literally making money by using the auto shipment, and it's completely paid for. If you do it the right way, you never have to spend a dime out of your pocket, which is what I always did.
And I love you for that answer. I believe that the auto ship is so important. I feel like, you know, I was a person in this business that when I came in, that I was so broke that I could not afford the auto ship, but I figured out a way. That's why I give like the 90 days leniency, as long as they understand it's $80 to be commission qualified, $150. I will not place under, we have to place. Like when you're at the point where you got 5 million in your top line, you got to place. I won't place under somebody that doesn't have it on. All right. I will not do that. I make that very clear. But, you know, it's an investment into your business, but it's also investment to yourself. And when we invest into ourselves, what we do, we bring people in. And so I always love to hear the different just scenarios of different leaders. So something about, actually, I'll wait to the end for that one. So if you're bringing a new distributor, you know, how do you do this? How do you launch them?
What do you mean?
Like, do you have a launch technique? Like, do you give them an introduction template? Do you talk about posting? Do you make them like text anybody that's in their phone? How do you start implementing the steps to success into their business and their social media presence?
Okay, so after we finish their training, like once they've started messaging their friends and family, then I say, okay, so here's what you're gonna want to do.
Do you give them a message to message their friends and family?
I have them send them that text, and then whenever they reply, they already have their response message with a list of products, and they're responsible for sending me screenshots. And I usually do that until I feel like they're ready. And so then if it's been like a day and I haven't gotten any screenshots, I'll message them and be like, hey, have you been messaging? And they're like, yeah, I've been talking to a lot of people. I'm like, I haven't gotten screenshots. Like, you need to start sending me screenshots because that's why you haven't signed anybody yet. Like, I know that I can help you. Like, let me be here for you. And so anyways, I strongly encourage them to do that because I know I can help them get their first 4. So once we were done with that, I tell them, you know, here's what you're going to do every single day. You're going to post and you're going to message. And this is an example message, which is different than the one for the friends and family because it's people that you don't know. And so I feel like that's 2 very different things you would send. And so I send them something else, and I send them just basically what I send. And then I make sure that they see everywhere in the team page where we have tools that show exactly, you know, my scripts for signing up a potential customer, my weight loss scripts. And I call it a script, and I feel like that people make that word negative, but like when you have a template of what you send to every single person, it makes it very streamlined and you know exactly how your conversation's going to go. So what are you? You're more confident, you're more comfortable, and that shows whenever you're talking to people. If you're confident, then they're going to feel like, oh my gosh, like this girl knows what she's talking about. Like you may have only been in for 3 days, but you're using a script and you're just kind of following a guideline and going through the conversation with somebody like you've done for the last 3 days. You sound so confident. People are into that. Versus like, well, like, you know, people don't want to buy from somebody as much as if they're not confident. And so, and then I teach them how to post. We have sample posts, like pinned posts, on our team page is just example posts of like hair, skin, and nails, like, product posts, distributor posts, just very like generic things that they can put on their timeline. Another thing that I have them do is, just like look through people's stories on our team page and start sharing other people's stories from, like, because we all have like a post where we like all put our story with a picture we want them to use. And so then they copy and paste their story and say like, I'm so excited. This is one of the girls on my team. And they don't know that that's a sideline. They don't know that's your upline. They don't know that's somebody that you sign. Like, they don't know what that means. You just say that this girl on my team is totally killing it. And I'm so like inspired by her story. And then somebody's going to be able to connect to that when they don't have a story yet for themselves. And even though they do have a story and I help them write that story, but this is what, it's like a different story that somebody may not be able to relate to them, but they can relate to this girl. So I just have them do that. And I just really take them by the hand. But me introducing them to the person that I placed them under, they're also giving them a ton of those tips too. So I almost not hand them off, like I'm never going to talk to them again, but I almost like wean them off of me so that they can like start talking to that leader more, who has like 4 people on her team versus me who has like a larger team. They can give them more focused like energy to them. And then I check in with them every single day for their first month. And I just say, hey, how's your day, if I don't hear from them first.
Beautiful, beautiful explanation of layered leadership. And layered leadership is a blessing. Like I feel like sometimes people get it and some people don't. But like when people don't, like, yes, they might join because they trust us, but they're joining for themselves. They are truly like people like join into this business for something that they are able to, build upon themselves. And then along the way, we're gifted with these amazing friendships and these amazing partnerships and all these things. But I feel like I'm always hindering. Like, I feel like I have this 72-hour period of launching distributors where I give them like, scripts or posts or add them to my training page that's only for 30 days. And the last thing that I want to deprive them of is the fact that there are so many friendships that can be made through this business by layered leadership. And don't be afraid to introduce them to their sponsor, because they're there. If you place somebody 3 layers down, there's 3 people there that they could have this immense relationship with, that maybe they have a better relationship with them than you. And don't take offense to that, because I know that I am red at times, and I know that I'm very straight to business at times. And then there are other relationships that I connect with somebody that I'm so yellow with, which is like, no, not me at all. But they connect to people that are red on my team that are completely out of their league. It is so important to introduce people to the other people in this business to truly make them feel like they're a part of something. And we have sidelines, uplines, downlines, like whatever, where that could be the person that they need to be accountable with to keep going in this business. It's not just you. So duplication. So say, I get my first 4 loyal customers. I've accomplished step 2. So how do you duplicate signing distributors in your organization?
So how do I show my team how to sign distributors? Start drafting. Okay, so I have like notes on this stuff. Hang on one second. Okay, so like the biggest thing, so in November we did a hashtag sign a DT challenge. And so whenever they've signed their first 4 customers, I tell them to go look up the hashtag sign a DT. And every single day of November, I gave them a different challenge. And so it was either like
on your team page.
Huh?
On your team page you do this?
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Let me I'll try to find them, but basically like every single one of them, so like we were obviously like doing this together, but if they weren't here then, but they can still look up hashtag sign a DT. So it's like November 21st, November 9th, November 14th, but one of them was like so many exciting things, like this is how you tell potentials about the business. And then you give them information. Like I told them exactly how to explain it. And then I said, your task is to send this to a minimum of 10 people. And so I tell them, okay, whatever today is, I want you to start there. So today's May 17th. I want you to go find the post from November 17th, which is the month that we did this. And this sign a DT task was to send that to a minimum of 10 people who have asked you about the business. And then they go all the way through for a month. And some of them are, tips. This is a tip from Dree Caneller. This is a tip from Aaron Tweed. This is a tip, like whatever it is. And like another, like, and so we did like commissions are posted. Take a selfie with like your like excited face, like to show everybody, that you just literally made money from your phone, because commissions like to show them exactly what to do. And so then they start working towards signing up distributors themselves, because they're looking at all the things that we did. And that month we signed a freaking ton of people because we were doing that sign a DT challenge as a team.
Love that. I love that. That's such a great idea. Yes, we're going to do that next month. I love that. Before, I know I have maybe like 6 more minutes, but I want to ask you a couple things. So somebody asked in here, working your tail off, what does that mean to you?
I can go to bed at night being like, all right, like, good job, Morgan. You did everything that you could to do, like, today. But, I mean, that's really vague, but, like, if I literally go to bed at night and I'm like, I should have messaged more. Like, I'll lay down and, like, I'll message more. I feel like that means something different for every single person, but I have a list of things that it's non-negotiable. Like, I have to complete those every single day, or else I will not go to bed until they're done. So sometimes I'm up later because I have grit. Like, I want this so bad. And, like, if you really want it, you'll do what it takes to get there. And so I'll stay up till 2 a.m. because, it's midnight and I haven't done this and this or my business. Okay, well, then I guess I'm staying up late. Like, it's not an option. Like, I just didn't get to do it. That's not a thing. I've made this a habit. And so now, like, I do exactly what it takes every single day. And if I feel like I haven't done those things, then and the more you start to do it, the more consistent you are with that, the more you're going to realize, like, okay, like, I haven't done what it takes today. You're going to start realizing, like, what that means. And every day you're going to challenge yourself more too. So you're going to start doing more things every day. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. You should not say that anymore. It makes total sense whenever you say anything. I think that it's so important to have a bottom line list. What are you going to achieve that day? Bottom line, like, no matter what. I have that list. I have that list this entire year, through my darkest days, through my highest days. Like, I have it's not up for it. This is what I have to get done no matter what list. And you're able to alter those, but as long as there is a list there and you get that done, that's all that matters, because this business is truly self-accomplishment, guys. A lot of times people look at the freedom. And this business has more to do with the fulfillment. It truly does. You are fulfilling your goals. You're fulfilling your dreams. You're fulfilling your lifestyle by being self-disciplined and having that to-do list no matter what. And you're able to up it all the time, and you're able to lower it. But there needs to be a list to get done every single day. Somebody else talked about making a post. It takes about 30 to 40 minutes to make a post. And you kind of touched on this a little bit. I'd love for you to talk about it again, but I just want to put kind of like my opinion on it. I've had those days where, like, I'm going to have a busy day tomorrow. And I love that you do this, Morgan. When I was completely structured prior to a year ago, when I was completely structured where I was just like on it completely, every night I ended with a list that was sitting on my desk. So when I got up in the morning with my coffee, I sat down to look at this list because I made it the night before. I was my manager the night before. All right. The night before, my manager, me, made the list of what I was going to accomplish every day the next day. And if I knew I was going to be busy the next day, if I knew that I was going to be so busy to the point where, we know that it takes some time to make those posts where we need to, we need to portray feelings, or we need to, like, talk about something. That is where, when you're scrolling or watching YouTube or watching your documentary or watching Desperate Housewives or doing whatever you're doing that has no IPA involved in it, that's when you should be making your posts. My notes, I just recently cleaned out my notes, and I forgot about how many posts I made on those nights that I thought I was too busy for the next day. And I'm like, oh my God, I have all these posts I haven't used yet. And I made them for me. You should acknowledge what your day will be like tomorrow. And if it's really busy, start making posts tonight. Just start making these posts so that when you're in that busy phase, you're like, oh my God, I gotta post. Go back to the Lachelle that made the post the other day. Take one of those posts because she was in the mood. She was in the mood to write something heartfelt and get into somebody's feelings and really, like, thinking. Don't be afraid to record yourself. I've recently, I actually watched a documentary about I Am. And whenever I am thinking about something, I'm starting to record myself. My phone is annoying. I would never want anybody to see the videos album on my phone, because I will literally make a 5-minute video of, like, okay, I'm thinking about this. It's such a good idea. Like, I'm just talking to myself, because we are creatures of forgetfulness. We come up with these great ideas, and then we've all had those moments where, like, God, what was that great idea I was thinking about? I have no idea. But anyways, ADD squirrel, like, we go to something else. And so I'm just trying to record everything. And I know it sounds crazy, but I'm starting to record it because I'm refining myself, guys. We all go through seasons where. Do you feel as if that you've gone through seasons, Morgan? I feel like that's something that needs to be acknowledged more in trainings. Like, as leaders, we are not perfect. We are not perfect. We are not super women. We are not superheroes. We do not get it all together. We are not perfect. But do you feel as that you've gone through seasons? And if you could elaborate on it at all, I feel like it needs to be talked about more often.
Yeah, I mean, I went through everything. I had just moved whenever I started the business. So that's kind of where I was, and just transitioning into my first year of college. And just broke. And then I transitioned into not going to school anymore. That's a whole other story. But I stopped going to school. I got 2 different jobs. And so that was a different season. I went diamond and got to quit my jobs. That was a different season. And it wasn't just all roses and rainbows and butterflies and sunshine, because I was like lonely. So I went through a season of loneliness that year because I just didn't really have a local team, and I prayed for friends because I was still new in the area and my only friends were at work. Because guess what? Working 65 hours a week, you don't have time to make friendships. So all my friends still worked at those jobs and I never had time to see them. So went through a season of loneliness. After that, I went to conference and just had it was like a whatever season. I got my dog, and so then that was like a different season. And then that summer, my papaw passed away right after green carpet. That was a different season. And through all of that, just still trying to stay focused on the business and still trying to work with my team. That was during the $10 kits. That was hard. And then, gosh, I mean, there's just been so many different seasons now, I went through a breakup. Right whenever I started this business, I was dating a different guy. We broke up, and then later on, because I've been with this business for almost 4 years. And so after that, I met my now fiance. And so we've gone from not knowing each other to meeting to dating to now we're engaged. We're about to be married, so we've gone through, so many different seasons. And this business has been so simple to incorporate into every single one of them, but you just have to be consistent with telling your time where to go. And no matter if you're super busy or feel like you're not busy at all, which please tell me how you can be not busy at all. Please tell me that, because even not having a job or kids or a husband, I'm still running around like a chick with my head cut off most days. But you can do this business no matter what your season you're going through, and you just have to make it a priority. And so I'm thankful that I have.
2 more questions and I'm going to let yourself go. I want you to answer this as if it was just me and you. What are you working on right now, and what are you doing?
Business-wise?
In this business, promoting. Just don't even try to teach. I want you to tell me what you're doing. What are you working on in this business right now, and what's your goal?
Promotion-wise, presidential, but deeper than that, my biggest thing that I've been working on, and this has been probably, I don't know, maybe since December or so, just really striving to be a better leader. I feel like I failed as a leader for so long. None of us are, even if you are, I feel like I have the tendency to be a leader. So people would say I'm a natural born leader. But I feel like as a leader in this business, I failed so many times, and I still do so often. But I have really pinpointed that as something that I really need to focus on being better at, being more of an encourager, being more of someone that people can come and talk to about their life. Whether I enrolled them or not, they feel the freedom to FaceTime me randomly throughout the day and know that I'll answer if I can, and we'll talk, knowing that they don't have to just talk to me about the business. That's been a big thing. Because I felt like I didn't have time for relationships. So that's the beauty of this business, is that that's what God created us for, and this business allows us to have those, and a whole lot of them. I think personal development is a huge thing that I've wanted to work on, that I have actually gotten a lot better at. I've been starting a leadership chat. So that's been really nice, because that has helped me with leadership, because I have to lead them. We have a leadership Zoom every Monday night before our real Zoom. And so I have to have something to tell them. And if I don't know anything, if I haven't grown my mind that week, I'm I don't know what to say. Let's do a guest speaker. So anyways, it just holds me accountable to always be growing and learning. It's a really broad topic, I guess, but leadership has just been huge, and just in every aspect. I feel like I need to work on that in every single way. And I feel like it has gotten a lot better. I'm not where I want to be yet, but I think if we ever are where we want to be, we should reevaluate ourselves, because anyway, we shouldn't be content, or whatever, complacent. But yeah, I don't know. That's been something that's been huge on my mind. I don't know if you know, actually you probably do, because I think you're on the same team. Do you know Kelsey Thornton?
We are not on the same team, but yes.
Okay. So, she is my accountability partner, and she's amazing at leadership, and she thinks I'm great at enrolling, and so we're like the perfect match. And so I'm like helping her with like what to say, and she's like, no, do this with your team. So she's amazing. So anyway, that's been a huge help, was just like meeting her, and that was around December, which is why I've been saying that. And like just hearing her leadership, I'm like, I want to be like that. I'm pretty good friends with Cammie too, and just seeing her leadership, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I want to be a leader like her, and just Pam, and like all these people that are in this business that are amazing leaders, and just looking up to them. So I think that's like the biggest thing.
I love that, and I really appreciate you being transparent. And you've been in this business for 4 years, and I'm a truly transparent leader where I am truly trying to find my leadership again as well, because we go through seasons, we go through storms, and through this storm, I'm trying to re-identify my leadership in an even better, and that's where we have to build ourselves, and we might get unbalanced at sometimes. But something that you said that I've really been connecting to lately too, and I love that you said it, is that you've connected to Kelsey and Cammie. Kelsey has nothing to do with your business. Cammie is she's a face. She's not in the business anymore. And I tell all of you should be comfortable finding, either comfort, growth, knowledge, whatever. It does not have to be in your upline. It does not have to be on your leg. It can be from a sideline. When we say one team on mission, you will truly understand it when somebody outside of your organization, upline, downline, whatever, comes in and makes a difference in you, and you're able to make a difference in them. It grows you bigger than you will ever understand. And then last, I would love for you to end on, I love asking leaders this. If you could tell the Morgan that joined, if the Morgan today could say something to the Morgan that joined, even if you want to treat her life and tell her something right now on this Zoom, I'll record it so that you can rewatch it. Because I truly believe that we are the best leaders to ourselves. What would you tell that girl?
Okay. So I actually wrote like a letter to myself. I can send it to you if you want to like share it on your team.
No, I want you to read it.
Okay, hang on. This was written January 31st. Actually, sorry, it was edited January 31st. I wrote this December 21st. Okay. Dude, this is crazy. Okay, so I wrote this. I'm just going to read it because it explains why I wrote it. Okay, so I said, if I could write a letter to me, this is 2017 Morgan's letter to 2016 Morgan. So this is whenever I was a diamond. So I said, it's December 21st. So this was the day that I wrote this. 2016, you're a diamond distributor that works global. And right now you're probably, I'm going to get emotional. Woo! And right now you're probably getting ready to have Christmas with your dad's side of the family. And you're going to have so much fun and learn to play Mexican dominoes. And you'll be obsessed with that game. And that's what you'll be playing as you listen to Mark Pentecost draw 100 names that will each win $10,000. And you're hoping that they'll draw your name because right now you're in $10,000 of credit card debt, but he won't draw your name. And you'll actually cry because of it, because I was like literally so in debt, and I was like, I don't know how I'm going to get out of this. But through that, you'll get a new fire, and you'll find a new why, paying off your credit card debt. Side note, we did that yesterday, 2 days ago. Then you'll go to Nashville and spend Christmas with your mom's side of the family, and you'll need to be present for every single moment during these few days. This will be your very last Christmas with Papaw. So remember every detail about him and his laugh and his jokes. So remember how he gets upset with your grandma for not playing the rules, whatever. Some of this stuff is like not about the business, but it all is. And I know you'll be sad knowing that it's your last Christmas with him, but he's going to be really healthy until late June. Then while you're at green carpet in Florida, he'll have a massive stroke that ends up taking his life a few days later. But guess what? Because if it works, you'll have the freedom and the money to fly out of Tampa 3 hours later at 4 a.m. on a one-way flight, and you'll get to Mississippi to see him open his eyes and look at you one last time before he comes unresponsive. And then you'll be able to be there for your family for 2 weeks and not have to ask off work or worry about missing a paycheck. You'll be able to be there for his funeral, and you'll even get a tattoo in honor of him, and it's your favorite one now. And it's going to be hard, but you'll slowly heal. You're going to meet so many cool people in 2017. You know, a few months ago, those girls that joined a few months ago back in October, and then I said their names. Yeah, they're going to be your first 2 diamonds. Oh my gosh, you haven't even met so-and-so yet. Like, I'm just like talking about people that like, this girl's my double. And I said, you're going to meet, where is it? She's so fun, and her team is huge too. They're mostly all from Colorado. And I know you've had a lot of team members leave, especially this year, but Macy doesn't leave. She stays, and which you probably assume she would. And she is one of your first diamonds too. And so I'm literally a diamond, like telling myself I'm about to have all these diamonds, which I never believed would ever happen. And then I said, I mean, you seriously haven't even met any of them yet, like any of the team that you have now. It's so funny to think about. And then I tell myself, like, Dakota and Zoe both join around March. They're insane. Oh, and they're going to bring out this thing at Green Carpet where it's only $99 or $9 to join. It works. And that's where you meet Allie. She's still in the business, and she's going double this month. Side note, she's a $10 kit person. And I said, she's a sweetheart. She ends up going diamond in 3 months and earns a $10,000 bonus. And Allie will bring people like Cassie and Nautica into your business. Hello, Rockstars. You'll end up signing so many people this year. And then I named some other people that are like really great on my team. I know that right now those names mean nothing to you, but that's just because you haven't met them yet. Right now you're a diamond. You're struggling to maintain rank. You'll never lose the rank of diamond, so take a deep breath. But you've come close to losing it lately. This month, your volume will be 1,000 more than it was last month. But right now, you feel stuck. You want to promote. You're ready for more. You're praying for leaders. You're praying for hard workers. You're praying that for people that can complete their steps to success. Hang on, girl. They're coming. I know it feels like you'll never have a big team, and it feels like sometimes you're the only one working. You just wait. And then I put like a bunch of ha-ha-has because like it's just hilarious to think that like that was literally what I prayed for is what I have now. If only you knew. Gosh, the guys and girls on your team now are kicking major tush is what I said. That's so funny. Wow. So here's what's going to happen in 2017. And then I talked about like signing a lot of people. And then I said, you're going to go to conference. This is really cool. You'll go to conference in February, and they were all right. It will change your life. So I was talking about my first conference. You go with 2 of your team members, and you'll pile into a hotel room with 11 other girls, LOL. Let's just say that'll be interesting, and I'll let you discover how that goes on your own. But one of those conference days, you're sitting on the 3rd floor, nosebleed seats, watching the top 100 walk across the room. That will be your aha moment. You'll be sitting on the white couch, or you'll see people sitting on the white couch speaking, and you start making goals for this year. We will get to that in a second. So 45 days after conference, you'll promote to double, finally. Derek goes diamond, you earn $40,000 in bonuses, and you don't stop like you have in the past. You kept going, and in May, Derek ends up going double, you go triple, you've earned $127,000 in bonuses now. You know that $10,000 in credit card debt you cried over today? You paid it off 6 months ago. Because we paid off Derek's credit cards 2 days ago, and then we paid off mine back then. On January 1st, 2017, your dream board will include $8,000 in savings, done, and then some. Make $12,000 a month, done, and then some. Triple diamond by December, done, but way sooner. 8 new enrolled diamonds. You have 6. You were a diamond when you wrote this yourself. Hello. Car paid off. You decided to get your dream car and paid for half of it in cash. You go, girl. Start looking for houses. Not only did you start looking, but you got approved for an X amount of dollars loan on your It Works income alone. And then I told them that I said the deal ended up falling through, but it was a blessing in disguise. And then this coming February 2017, when you're a diamond at conference, sitting between your 2 distributors that came with you, you'll look at them and say, I want to be on that white couch someday, and I want to be in the top 100 income earners and be in that parade of people. I want to be sitting VIP on the ground near the stage. You don't have to wait for someday. They'll ask you to speak on the white couch at Green Carpet, and you get to speak with the most amazing ladies ever. And you'll end up being in the top 150. Oh, and you just purchased your 2018 VIP seating conference ticket 2 months ago. You have no idea what's about to happen, but gosh, if you did, you wouldn't be able to handle it, so you just have to wait to find out for yourself. But this year is going to be unforgettable. And then I talked about my dog, and then that's it. So that's like my letter from that year.
Okay. Everybody slow clap. Morgan. I don't even know. No, listen, I'll tell you. TJ told me how incredible of a human being you were. And I'm like, good. Can I interview her? I want to get to know her too. Your mind is so significant. And the fact that you wrote that, and I understand that it was in past, present, got into present, and then went to forward. I challenge everybody on this Zoom tonight to write their story from past, current, and what to look forward to. Manifesting is such a powerful tool in this business. And if you have not listened to Denise Walsh's what's it called? It's a psychology practice, basically just showing that when you truly believe something and you convince yourself of something and you manifest something that you can truly see it in your head, your brain gets confused, your body takes action, like all these things. But that is absolutely incredible, Morgan. And I don't think that you could have you ever entered a Zoom like that?
No, I've never.
Good! It's this one. It's this one. That was amazing. And I want to challenge you something. I want you to write your next year's story. Because that was incredible. And just knowing what stalking of what I've learned from stalking you, okay? You've accomplished so many of those things. And I don't know if she's here anymore. Is she here? Morgan, are you still here?
Yeah, somebody's screen sharing.
Okay. Guys, my ADD. You guys gotta stop doing that. Okay, so no, but what I know of you, what I've stalked from you, Jameson, not you too. I am so happy, like, just to hear that story and know that how much of you have already accomplished that story, if not almost all of it. It's time to write your next story. I watched you accept that award on stage. You have, like, blossomed into this leader that, like, you've only started in this business. You have a lot of people inspire, but you have a lot of things to do in your life. And thank you so much for taking the time tonight to pour into these people. I appreciate it so much. I know they do too. And thank you, guys. If there's any other questions.
I'm so confused. It's fine.
I don't even know what's happening right now. If there's any other questions, I will post this to my YouTube channel. And you can write it on the YouTube channel. And I'll try to get to them as much as I can. Thank you so much, Morgan. And I'll talk to you later about Monday.
Yay, you're welcome.
Bye, guys.